Hi guys, my name is Keith Norades, known as the leader and superior of Club LASM, aka lover of animated shows and movies. And for this very special video, I already did a Kid Cosmic video, which is a two-parter, but this time I will be uploading a very special full-length version. So that means part 1 and part 2 will be combined together into this whole 1 hour video, like I did with this Willow podcast, which is an hour long. But yeah, I just hope you guys enjoy this 1 hour long video. Bye. Hi guys, my name is Keith Norades, known as the leader and superior of Club LASM, aka lover of animated shows and movies. And I am here with Lazy Bones.
Hey.
Adam.
Hello.
And Gilbert.
Hi. Got a new mic here, so if I sound different than beforehand, that's why.
So first things first, how are we doing on this lovely day?
Pretty good. Good.
Not too great actually. A bunch of classwork and stuff.
I feel you.
Me too. Like
not the worst, honestly. I could get them done. It's just it just feels it inconveniences me.
As of now, I have 2 classes that are still in the works for me: digital art and pre-calculus. Do you know how hard pre-calculus algebra is?
I wouldn't know. I kind of once I finish the necessary math class, I don't take it anymore.
You know, I just noticed during my Cartoon Crave, it's literally like the Paramount Plus thingy. What the heck is that?
I have.
Wait, what'd you hear?
I just heard like a.
It's some sort of moaning sound. Like that. There it is again.
Whose house is haunted? Get out of the way now. Don't worry, they're gone. The ghost is gone. I'm sorry, it's coming from my end. I'm sorry. Why is your house haunted? What's up? Should I move somewhere else? Because I'm in like a parking lot now. Because like,
that's what I did.
And it's haunted, apparently.
Oh.
Have you moved to a parking lot for one of our podcasts?
No.
No, I'm asking Gilbert. I thought that's what he said.
No, I said I've actually moved out of my house for a bit to my cousin's house because we're leveling our house a bit. It's work needs to be done.
Yeah.
Lots of construction hearing around there. The buzzsaw, jackhammer. Nobody wants to hear that in the background.
Oh, it's okay. So I was about to say that as of now, I keep getting some Cartoon Crave tweets from the Paramount Plus thingy, and apparently this I just got word about Sonic 3 and spin-off in the works. There's still more SpongeBob spin-offs and movies in the works.
Oh, goody.
Yeah.
Expected.
This show will never end. Neither will that, like... Give other cartoons a chance to win KCAs, please.
Oh, God.
I'm excited for Sonic 3 and the spin-off, whatever they're doing with that. I just heard about this when you brought it up. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, or I'm not watching it.
Yeah, I know.
Or Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Knuckles Strikes Back, something like that. Yeah, Knuckles Strikes Back.
This is literally the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah, I'm literally hearing that when we just getting started.
This is brilliant.
So, is everyone ready to get to the topic?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Sure thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, Craig McCracken really made some, like, great cartoons. Like, we just got the Powerpuff Girls, Foster's Home, Wonder Over Yonder. He went at it again with Kid Cosmic. Like, if anyone hasn't watched Kid Cosmic yet, you have to watch it, because it is literally the best show. Like, it premiered last year, right?
Yeah, it's literally been a year ago.
The show Kid Cosmic is about like a group of small town like people that forms with the kid who's named Kid, a teleportation teen Joe, a little girl who has the ability to go tall, or like go extremely tall, like 40 feet, named Rosa. Kid's grandfather, Papa G, who can do duplication, and a cat tuna sandwich, who can literally predict the future.
Yeah, it's basically an interesting take on the superhero genre.
To me, it felt like they took a real different approach when it comes to superhero cartoons.
When I first heard Kid Cosmic coming out, I was not all that interested in the show. I don't know why. Sometimes I underestimate some animated shows. One big example was Arcane. I didn't think much of it until one of my family members showed me the show, and I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. And the same thing for Kid Cosmic. I saw a clip of it, watched the show for myself, and I loved it. It is a great superhero show, and coming from Craig McCracken, that is certainly a big win.
What got me into the show is when I heard that it was created by Craig McCracken, because he makes magnificent cartoons. So, boy,
I remember hearing about it, and I remember one of the first things I knew about it was basically, this was before any sort of like footage or like images from the show were leaked. Was I just knew that the tuna sandwich, the cat, was gonna be in it. So I thought, is it gonna be some like cartoon sidekick or something like that? But no, it's just like a regular cat that gets the power to talk and see the future, and like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, before we move forward, I would like to give a shout out to a huge fan of Kid Cosmic. Her name is Zeph. She goes by Zeph, and we met on Twitter and we chat a bit, and she is one of the biggest Kid Cosmic fans I have ever seen. And it's amazing how passionate she is about the show, more than me. Zeph, if you're hearing this, thank you for sharing
your love for Kid Cosmic,
passion of the show with me. For your love for Kid Cosmic, yes.
With that said, let's just get to season 1, which was in February the 2nd, which was 3 days before my birthday.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, this show literally aired 3 days before my birthday.
So for season 1, that's when we were introduced to our main characters and how they got the Cosmic Stones.
Of course, at first there were only like 5 of them, but then we only saw like a glimpse of the scroll saying that it had at least 13 stones.
There are 5 Cosmic Stones of power.
Yeah, they had 5, but the scroll the kids saw.
But they eventually grew. They eventually grew to like 13 or 14 during the last season, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
When I was first watching Kid Cosmic, it feels like a Green Lantern origin story, minus the dead alien.
True, yeah, it is kind of like Green Lantern,
hell.
how, like, I mean, it's better than the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie.
I mean, hell, even Kid's Cosmic Stone is green.
True, yeah.
And he can fly. The only thing he's missing is the ability
the green CGI mask or the CGI suit. or Ryan Reynolds.
I was gonna say Conjuring, but they might do that. It reminds me a lot of Green Lantern. I got his origin story because the only thing I know of Green Lantern. You know, he gets the power ring from space, and there are about 10 episodes from the first season. Some of them are about like 20 minutes. The others are very short, like 11 to 15.
Yeah, and that's just like that's just the advantage of having like a show on Netflix, is that you don't have to air it technically on TV, so like the episodes can be whatever length they want.
And they could have aired it on a weekly
And
but they decided to like just have the whole season in there. So
Yeah. I wish they aired it like one episode a week. But I guess it's just easier, like, because like for like someone like myself who might be a little busy. So like if I just feel like binging all the episodes, I can just do that.
So yeah, 10 episodes there. And as episode, we are introduced to each hero, the members of the initial group. The first episode, we got Joe and Kid. We see a 4-year-old named Rosa get the blue cosmic stone, which turns her into a giant.
Yeah.
Imagine a little kid, but 50 feet tall. That's
oh crud.
like you would look at her and you go, "Oh, she's so cute," and then she grows and starts smashing stuff. Deadly.
Wow.
That's how the world's gonna end, guys.
Oh god.
Giant 4-year-old.
And in that said episode, we also see the 4th cosmic stone go to Kid's grandpa, Papa G, which is able to multiply himself.
And what little do you know that he may have another stone, spoiler.
A stone in the initial 5 stone is Kid, for safekeeping, gives it to his cat Tuna Sandwich. With that stone, he's able to see
Predict
into
the future.
Predict the future with his third eye.
Like the
It
third red
opens
eye.
up in the center of its head. And he meows of danger, like meow, meow, meow.
He only like meows for like
Nice.
until episode 7 when he's given the ability to talk. But the way I see the first 3 episodes is more of a prologue type of episode. Like we get to see the first act, introduce the characters more until we get to 4. Things will start to get a little interesting with the show.
And I will say, Tuna Sandwich, in the initial few episodes, he reminds me a lot of my cat. He sounds just like him. He will meow.
You mean he can talk just like him?
Oh. Oh god, that would be he's given me a headache before. Just imagine if he can actually talk. That would be worse. I've actually left one character out in the initial group. We also have the initial antagonist of the show, Chuck, the alien. Or after Joe literally cuts him in half, he's known as Stuck Chuck, because he's stuck on the ground with no legs. I think a lot of people noticed, those who watch, a lot of people noticed the plays these characters like Tom Kenny and Keith Ferguson. They've been in a bunch of shows. It's kind of weird to think about. Just think, like Keith Ferguson. I think he played Lord Hader, and now he's Papa G. And Tom Kenny, he was Commander Peepers, and now he's Chuck.
He was also the
For some
mayor.
reason, at first, I thought that Tom Kenny voiced Papa G because his voice sounds similar.
A crazy thing about the season, the final 2 episodes, I've realized that Alex Hirsch was in the works. Literally on the final 2 episodes of season 1.
Really?
Like
That is the first I am hearing this.
Like during the end credits of episode 9 and 10, Alex Hirsch was in the works of the show.
So you got the Powerpuff Girls, you got Gravity Falls, My Life as a Teenage Robot. You got them all mixed up here. It's a pretty damn good combination. Lots of talented people on the show. That is the truth. I remember mostly. I will talk about the last 2 seasons soon. Does anyone have a favorite moment in season 1?
I haven't seen season 1 in a long time, but I think one of the things that stuck out to me the most, besides like the great character interactions and like and heartfelt moments, I kind of liked how it almost kind of defied like superhero cliches in a little in some way, where like whenever like they were trying to have some kind of moment or something, like one of the characters would say like this isn't the comics, we're gonna die, or like someone would also say like it's like that moment in like superhero movies where like they all make up and whatever,
Most superhero stuff I'm used to is obviously in the movies. Mainly the MCU and a few DC. Those are most of the things I'm used to, and it's very cool how most of the shows kind of gives them a shout out in one way or another. Like when Kid he realizes that his heroic moment when he thought he saved the day from all those robots, and it turns out they were all Baba G's in costumes just to make him feel special. Chuck kind of made fun of Kid and said, "Hey, you're like that Bat guy, only without the money or talent."
It kind of broke my heart, like, because Craig really took the different approach of what is like fantasy, what makes a good hero, and what is like real,
I guess one of the big moments in the show is heroes help, not hurt. When I guess it's just the core concept of what makes a hero.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I remember
that really stuck with me. That really stuck with me.
Another great line from the show, particularly season 1, is when whenever like one of the characters is just kind of freaking out, like they say the phrase "freaking out, breathe it out."
Another phrase.
Breathe it out. Breathe it out.
Another quote that
I think McCracken said himself that that's something that his parents or used to say to him.
Yeah, apparently, I think most of us learned that some of the characters' personalities or some parts of the characters are based on Craig's life. Like Kid is based on Craig when he was a kid. Joe is based on his sister, and Rosa is based on his daughter.
Oh, really?
I wondered if Craig has a pet cat.
And he named the cat Tuna.
Yeah.
Peanut butter sandwich. He could have named it that.
Like, from after watching the entire season 1, like, how would you rate it?
I haven't seen it in a while, but I'd probably rate it like a 7 or an 8.
I have not given my favorite moments in the show.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. It's okay. I'll let you get your favorite moments.
It's not really much of a favorite moment, more like a favorite episode. The Local Heroes. That's my favorite episode. Not only of season 1, but out of the whole show. Mainly because of what they've done, all their heroic deeds, and how they protected the world, or at least make sure the stones don't fall to the wrong hand. Like they were making a documentary, and Chuck was looking at them and said, "So it's a 5-minute documentary of you all getting destroyed? I'd watch that." And then the little alien comes down and kicked their ass. Took all the stones. So long, you big dummies!
Until literally
he flies off and
gets electrocuted.
He got electrocuted. He was dying, and Rosa, she was smiling at the camera, and I just burst out laughing.
I also liked how the show kind of made fun of the government in some kind of way, because remember the Earth Force Enforcement Force? Like how the military found out about their magic stones, and like they try to take them away.
I hated the biker in black. When I would start the biker
show, in black.
I used to hate Stuck Chuck, but not anymore. But the biker in black is now my least favorite.
And my other favorite moments in there, and mostly moments involving Rosa, because everything she does is just like she tramples on the aliens, bites them, and basically committed genocide. And then later in the episode, when they were coming back from the alien spaceship, Rosa looks at the window and goes, "Spaceman sleeping?" Sees all those alien frozen corpses.
That was
and Papa G's like, yeah, sleeping. I mentioned how that episode was the funniest and darkest episode I've ever seen. And Craig liked that. He liked my post about it.
I never expect.
That,
I really never expect a show like that could actually get this dark. Within seconds,
I think Craig mentioned of how Netflix, being on Netflix, gave him a bit more creative freedom than Cartoon Network and Disney. So I guess he's like, oh, I can do this? Okay. And just kills all the aliens.
Wow. So that makes me start to appreciate Netflix more, because Netflix is starting to give them more benefit. Netflix is starting to do things that Disney TVA couldn't.
Or Cartoon Network.
Or Nickelodeon.
Well, that being said, I would still love to see more people get creative and to give more respect. That's why we're still advocating for hashtag New Deal for animation. Still advocating for that, and we're hoping the best for the people who work on shows like this.
Mm-hmm.
Same here. I hope that everything goes well for the animators and any people who work for any animated show, movie, or anything like that. Is that they get the proper treatment and respect and get equal pay.
And the hard work that they've put in and dedication that they've committed, especially during the COVID era, I just truly hope they just succeed on what they fight for.
Since we look at shows like Kid Cosmic, it's a really cute, very cool family show, and then you get adult animated shows like Love, Death, and Robots, which could literally be on par with live action. It's just so amazing and beautiful that it's a crying shame that animation or the animators doesn't get the same treatment as those who work in live action. And we can all hope for the best. That being said, I would love to give Kid Cosmic season 1 practically an 8 or 9 out of 10.
And I would probably give it an 8 too. With that said, we should get to season 2, which is the Intergalactic Truckstop.
Kid Cosmic and the Intergalactic Truckstop, which takes place immediately after the end of the first season, where everyone in the diner gets transported to outer space to fight the planet killer Erodius.
And also the villain as well, Plasmus, right?
No, Phantos.
Phantos. Not Thanos, Phantos.
Fan, F-A-N, Tos.
Phantos and Erodius, I would say season 2 reminds me greatly of Marvel, mainly because of those two characters.
What I love about season 2 is the narrative arc. Like, we slowly shifting our narrative arc from season 1 to Joe to season 2, because way back on season 1, it was Joe that was being dubbed the leader of the team.
And they try to search the rest of the cosmic stone throughout the galaxy to find them in the death trap of a temple and from a two-headed rich girl at a party.
I thought it was a really great choice to have Joe as the main focus of the season, because I think Joe from Kid Cosmic reminds me of Frankie from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, because she's kind of like the older teenager who feels like she kind of has to be responsible adult and everything like that, and take care of everything, and she feels like she probably doesn't get enough respect for the hard work that she does,
especially at the diner, since she can't really go anywhere.
Yeah, and she just kind of tries to prove to her mom, because she thinks that her mom doesn't think she can do anything that great or anything that she can be responsible or independent.
and taking most of her advice from Queen Jeanne, who actually knows a portal well. She comes from that homeworld that Joe got her ring from.
And like most of the advice is most likely not as good advice as we thought. Like, I did not want to hate Queen John for like giving like Joe terrible advice of being a leader, but it's not like she doesn't really understand what true leadership is.
It feels like Queen Jeanne that she mostly just do what she can to win at all costs, without thinking of those around her, which is how she lost her friends against Erodius.
To me, it feels like the act of selfishness caused negative effects to others. Like, see what happened to Joe because of her selfishness of trusting the rest of the stones to Crush. Near had caused Erodius to destroy the diner. It was only now till she realized that selflessness was able to recruit the entire aliens. Because the rest of the aliens were like customers to the Moasis Cafe. And it was thanks to her mother.
Deb, who is very compassionate to everyone who drops by. They get something to eat and rest. I can't remember the motto of the store, of the place, but I do remember it's some sort of teaspoon of kindness. It's something about compassion there. I'm sorry, the quote escapes me, but I know it was an old phrase from Joe's grandmother, who opened the diner. The show's like no matter who you are, you gotta show some love and compassion to those who comes by.
And always be sure to put others first, you know? That's my take from it.
That's a decent take. And one of the, I guess, most heartbreaking moment in season 2 is when Kid, he wants to know like why Joe doesn't want him or everyone else on the team, and she just screamed, "Because you suck!"
That is what sucked me.
Heartbreaking.
That's, to me, seeing that scene, it makes me realize as if Joe is now too far gone. The voice acting is what I love about the show is originality. Bringing actual, like, good people that can actually do voice acting. Like no, like, all-star celebrity stuff. Like, they actually pull out a performance in that dramatic scene.
Get that Eddie Knight crap.
I love hearing Tom Kenny and Keith Ferguson, but to hear the other cast member did a great job too in this show.
Yeah. You know who voices what's his name? The villain's name?
Phantos?
Phantos. You know who voices him?
Bobby Moynihan.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Like, I would have never guessed.
Wait, Bobby Moynihan?
Bobby
Panda, Wee Baby, as of
yeah, he plays Panda from We Bare Bears.
Like, because if that was the case, how come I did not notice that? How am I the only person who did not notice that?
I didn't know that either until I looked it up.
He was also in
DuckTales 2017.
Yes. I showed one of my cousins a video of Bobby Moynihan in a WWE promo with Dwayne Johnson. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I saw. I saw
yeah,
Bobby
yeah,
Moynihan
Keith,
on a Super Bowl commercial.
There, why you wouldn't know? Why you wouldn't know Phantos was Bobby Moynihan is because you literally would not notice. He just sounds.
His pitch, the voice was like pitched down, so like an evil voice.
Which, speaking of which, the one thing that draws me the most in that season, like everything, all the character interactions and the heartbreak were amazing and all, but I can't stop thinking about Phantos and Erodius. Like literally, from his name to his armor, I just can't stop thinking about his namesake, Thanos. Like, he's basically Thanos, and he has a huge man crush on the Ego, the living planet.
You know what's kind of interesting? I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for Kid Cosmic, and it classifies Erodius the Planet Killer as a character. even though it's just kind of a planet.
Well,
I think it's just kind of a character, I guess.
What? I mean, he's a planet.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, that said, what are your favorite moments from season 2?
I just liked all the stuff with like Joe, like her kind of arc of just like learning not to sideline all her friends, like who she thinks are just kind of suck. When she eventually starts to fail without them, and like she realizes, I was just kind of being a jerk. I'm sorry, guys. It was a good arc. It was good for her to like learn to, to put others before herself or appreciate others who just want to help and are probably, more powerful than she thinks.
My favorite moment are a couple moments with Phantos. He's just listening to him cracks me up. Like he was trying to get the stones from the galaxy's equivalent of the UPS. When he didn't get it, I'm going to leave a horrible review, and it's going to be long, incoherent, and rambling.
Like season 2, I didn't think much of him as my least favorite character because he's literally like a man-child.
But the best part I would say in the show is seeing all the other aliens who visited the diner. They all came to help the team fight Erodius. It reminded me of Avengers Endgame.
That's my favorite part of season 2. Like season 2, they don't just see aliens as like bad, like strange creatures. They actually genuinely treat them like real human people. Like treat them like equally. That's what I love about season 2.
But I will say the best moment of the season, and
is it
one
the
of
ending?
the best part about
the
show overall was the ending of the season.
I knew it.
That really, where we see 3 women all in black suits, start at the planetary
Planet Protection Globe.
Globe.
PPG, Powerpuff Girls. And what's even crazier, that Craig managed to actually bring back the original 3 voice actresses of the
Powerpuff Girls. Really? I know Tara Strong, I think, made a cameo, I think.
The moment I heard
additional voices.
The moment I heard Tara Strong's voice, I just realized, oh god.
Another fun fact I've just learned about the about season 2. If we're talking about Craig's other shows, turns out she was played by April Winchell, who was also in Wander Over Yonder. She played who was Wander's friend? Was Vornak?
It was the horse.
Yeah, I don't know what type of creature
I never watched much of Wander Over Yonder, to be honest. I watched like the pilot episode like all the way back in 2013,
Sylvia,
but I've never watched much of the show since.
Her name was Sylvia in Wander Over Yonder.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we are also going to get another Wander Over Yonder Easter egg in the next season.
Wait.
Ooh.
Really?
You have to point that out to me, because I think I must have missed it.
The only reference that I saw was Foster's Home.
Moving on to season 3.
Can I make the introduction?
Okay, you can do it. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I kind of want to introduce one of them because season 3 is pretty much engraved into my mind. So I just watched it last night and today.
You were the last person who watched it, so it's still fresh in your mind. So I think you should do the intro.
So, Craig McCracken really made some like great cartoons.
They eventually grew to like 13 or 14 during the last season, but we'll get to that later.
I realized that Alex Hirsch was in the works, really on the final 2 episodes of season 1.
Really?
I also liked how the show kind of made fun of the government in some kind of way, because remember the Earth Force Enforcement Force?
We're still advocating for hashtag New Deal for animation. Still advocating for that, and we're hoping the best for the people who work on shows like this.
Like, we slowly shifting our narrative arc from season 1 to Joe to season 2. Because if that was the case, how come I did not notice that? How am I the only person who did not notice that?
So it takes place right after the events of season 2. So basically, Kid Cosmic and all of his friends are worshipped as heroes, and so when they return to Earth, they are tasked of being full-time superheroes and to like defeat all these supervillains and everything like that. And everything, just seems great at first. Like now that they're like world-renowned heroes and everything like that, but there are some secrets and some twists that the team did not expect to happen. There's more to the more that's happening around them than it seems, and that the Earth that they're in might not actually be the real Earth and everything like that.
This season shocked me the most. Like,
it did. Me too.
I was like, I just did not.
I was surprised how Netflix managed to pull out a trailer without spoiling anything. Like, they did not spoil anything.
Exactly. Like, it's the shortest season of the show, and yet with the trailer, like, you watched it in one way, but halfway into the show, it turned a complete 180.
Do you know what remind me of?
It's insane.
Well, do you know what remind me of? Well, it's not cartoon-wise, but it's music-wise. It remind me of Frank Ocean Blonde. The way I hear Frank Ocean's album Blonde. There's one first half of the album is more summerly, more good, but then the beat switch happens during nights, and it's a completely different narrative. You have to listen to this 1 hour album of Blonde. Like, it's tremendous. The beat switch in the middle, which is on the song Nights, the beat switch changes the entire narrative completely.
Do you think Craig's a fan of this, Frank Ocean?
I don't know.
Yeah, I noticed that too in a lot of the scenes in season 3. Is that it just felt really emotional and palpable. It was just it really hooked me into like the show and characters, even more so than the previous 2 seasons.
Okay, here's a bizarre way. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm looking at Kid Cosmic season 3. It really reminds me of Invincible in a way.
Really
interesting.
Let me explain. You watch Invincible, and it feels like another iteration of one of those Saturday morning cartoons where you see the heroes beating the bad guys, save the day. And, it feels good to see that once in a while. But later on, as you get to the other half of the episode, the arc disturbing, and you just don't know how to take it in that it happened.
Like, I only saw some clips of Invincible, and boy, those fight scenes were brutal. Like brutal. Blood type of brutal.
That's not the comparison I'm making. Kid Cosmic, Kid Cosmic, it's a family show, so there's not going to be blood and guts and all that. But what I'm saying is, the
remember when Kid Cosmic was punching Phantos to a bloody pulp? Remember that part? I'm sorry.
No.
Think Phantos. But no. But yeah, in a way, it can be compared in that aspect. That's how it reminds me of Invincible, and that's what I love. Not just Marvel and DC, but in a way that we're so used to seeing heroes powerful and human sometimes, but it's the narrative change is what takes me by surprise. What I'm seeing for some of these superhero shows, not Marvel and DC, like I see the narrative change in there. Like, we see it in one aspect, it's all heroic, bright, and it's something you'd applaud to if you were there. Like something, if you're in a crowd, to go, yay! But then the whole narrative changed. Like it turns your world upside down. If you've seen Invincible, I'm pretty sure you know what I mean. Or Kid Cosmic, it is just not real. It is literally a fantasy world.
It's fantasy world, like
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about
the
it
plot
too.
twist was that Phantos actually sent him to a fantasy world, so it got me scared. That was literally the season that got me hating Phantos. So for the fact that he brought Kid's parents up, that was the moment where I hated Phantos.
Yeah, I loved the after their heroes on Earth and everything like that, and after everything seems to be going swimmingly, Kid, Joe, and Papa G realize, oh wait, no, this has to all be fake. Why is everything going so well? And so the next time when they exit the whole fantasy world, they're back to where they were. Before then is they were floating in space and they were defeated by Phantos. And I love stuff like that.
I was chatting with one of my followers, same as IO Squill, and they were talking about how Phantos' name kind of alludes to season 3. Could be partly from fantasy. That was something that I had not even thought about.
Wow, really?
And another thing I'd like to bring up, that his comparison to Marvel's Thanos, when he got the Reality Stone, he said, reality is often disappointing. And I'm like, oh my god, how did I not see that? And my favorite moment, and you brought it up with Joe, that was my favorite part in that season, when they were doing charades to see what Joe was trying to tell them. It's the world. And Joe was doing the little X sign.
They were like, the world is excellent.
That was the letter X. You want eggs?
And she's like, no, the world is fake. It's fake, you idiots.
This is a symbol for fake.
How does
the world is wrong? The world is incorrect.
And there was I did not get that. That an X is not for fake. How do you do charades for fake? Is that really how you do it? But my favorite moment that after that which to explain of how the world is fake, and nobody believed her at first. She was like, what's more likely? This world is fake, or we're the world's greatest heroes?
Yeah, the whole, I liked what you said about, how, a lot of superhero, properties and, movies and TV shows outside of DC and, Marvel are kind of differentiating themselves, Kid Cosmic and, Invincible. It reminds me of what I love about the original Incredibles is that the whole family dynamic of the superheroes and how they kind of define in each power of theirs defines their personality. Since Elastigirl is the mother, she has to get all her kids to do what they should. She has to stretch all her arms to make sure everyone is doing what they should be doing. And since Dash is really energetic, he's fast, and since Violet is very insecure and doesn't want any attention drawn to herself, that's what gives her the ability to make shields, all that kind of stuff.
And we come to find out that the world is all fake. There are no superheroes, super villains, mermen, or invisible dog.
Oh, I love that part where it's when when they ask Joe when a merman proposes to her, and her mom says, what, I thought you always wanted to marry a merman.
And you know how we mentioned how it's mainly about Kid. Season 2 focus on Joe. Season 3 this is where we have a Papa G center type of feel in this season, and it was heartbreaking to see what Papa G did to keep this a secret from Kid just to make him happy. That's all he wants for him.
Yeah, I love
This is
I
just
love
giving
that
me
whole conflict. Is that is when Joe just says to Papa G, I mean, you can't keep this a secret from him forever. He's eventually gonna find out, and are you just gonna sugarcoat all this fake stuff from him, even if that's what he dreams of? I think Kid eventually later on, I think says something like, I'd rather actually lose to someone than be fake winning, something like that. I think he said later on.
You know, seeing his parents again, that was heartbreaking. When Kid asked the fake parents, "Why didn't you come get me?" And the fake parents said, "Well, we needed were worried." And that's when Papa G just snapped, like, "How dare you!" His parents would never say that to him. That was intense.
Yeah.
That was cold.
That was also the moment where I hated Phantos.
Like, do you think the local heroes knows anything about his mom when they trapped him into fantasy world?
No.
Which is also my favorite part. There, it's Phantos gets trapped in the portal, and then
No, the
and
tables
his
were
mom
turned.
helps him with her ship. It's like, "You finally helping me?"
Yeah,
and then when
the
she gets back
table-
to Phantom, it's like, "Hey, wait a minute. My mom hates me."
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I
that was
realized.
hilarious.
He knew that the world was fake.
Yeah.
So in fairness to Phantos, they don't know each other, so that's not on him. He just traps in the fantasy world. What happens in the fantasy world, that's on that.
It was kind of. I actually
That-
started getting emotional. Actually.
I got so legit emotional after the episode 5.
Yeah, the moment where Phantos was kind of defeating all of the local heroes, and
Erodius
he drops
swallowed-
drops Papa G off a cliff, and and then he falls to the ground under a bunch of rocks, and the Kid gets flashbacks to to him when he was younger, and Papa G and stuff like that, and it started getting really emotional, and I started getting oh. I didn't think it could get any more emotional than there, but it did, because Papa G revealed that the 14th stone that everyone was looking for, he had all along, and that's what kept him alive. He
had it since he was a kid.
He had it since he was a kid, and that's why he was able to live for so long. He's 112 or 13.
He's 112, he said.
He's 112.
112. So it wasn't really just the duplicate that made him to survive. It was literally that healing stone. And Erodius was trying to look for that healing stone because it had an origin story.
One of the main final conflicts of the season is trying to stop Erodius from destroying the planet Earth and everything like that. The only solution is that Papa G has to use the 14th stone to destroy Erodius and
not destroy Erodius. If the 14th stone was part of Erodius.
But he has to use it to kind of stop Erodius from hitting the planet Earth, though, right?
Yeah,
yes.
Erodius swallowed Phantos whole because it didn't want to destroy Earth.
Yeah, and
Phantos
and Kid for a second thought he was going to lose him.
That was so intense there.
Yeah, because that's his only family left.
And then the next episode, we see him in a wheelchair, now fully feeling 112.
Yeah, and the opening of episode 6 was kind of tricking you to that, because it opens with sad music, and you see a frame of Papa G and Kid, and they're going to a funeral and everything. It looks because they're dressing up all fancy, and everyone looks so sad, and so it tricks you into thinking Papa G's dead, but he's not, because Papa G's just in a wheelchair, and they're all just kind of they're mourning the loss of the people who lost their lives to I guess it was the I guess when the
world that Erodius has destroyed.
Yeah. Those are the lives that everyone's mourning, and so
each stone are from the worlds that Erodius has destroyed, and with Erodius whole again, the stones have lost their powers.
That's really just a sad moment for me. But thank goodness Papa G was still alive. But It's only a matter of
He
time.
got a little older though. He got a little wrinkly, or
Yeah.
you can see some of the wrinkles on his face after that.
I know. There you go.
We talked about the main group. We talked about Papa G, Kid, Joe, but we didn't talk about Rosa or tuna sandwich.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the reason why they couldn't tell that they were in a fake world is because you know how Tuna Sandwich, even though Tuna Sandwich can predict the future, Tuna wasn't able to tell that they were in a fake world because his prediction of the future was starting to fade away.
Like his Dreamstone wasn't working.
It's not that it was fading away.
Okay.
Tuna could.
I thought that's what they said.
Sense danger. When they were in the fantasy world, Tuna's stone can only work if he senses danger. But since they're in the fantasy world, they were never any danger because they won't get hurt or killed. Because it's a fantasy world. You win in your fantasy. And that's where we get Lex Luthor cosplayer fighting them. Even though he was gigantic, there was no chance that he could beat them. For Rosa, it's very interesting what they did with Rosa when they escaped the fantasy world and they want to take the fight to Phantos. Rosa, she refuses to give up. She went around trying to see who else can help her, and only Rosa could help herself.
She was the only one who wanted to fight, even after they had to recruit back to that part in space, where they didn't have their powers anymore for at one point.
The episode title is Spark, something to do with Spark. She was able to give them the spark that they needed.
Yep, Rosa brought back hope when she managed to get a little help from those tiny aliens and snuck onto Herodias and take some of the stones back. It's cute and amazing of what Rosa can do, especially since she's so small. Who's gonna notice her?
Yeah, and Phantos apparently never even noticed. He was just too busy sleeping.
That's so hilarious.
Eating space pizza.
Eating space pizza.
Like he's completely homeless.
I wanted to bring up just briefly how much I really like some of the satire of the superhero genre that's present in season 3 as well. Because I think there's a part where remember the first few episodes when they're recruiting the local heroes and Kid Cosmic to be superheroes for the city and everything. I think they mentioned at one point that they're also able to choose which actors they want to act as them in their cinematic universe.
and one of the actors, I was pointed out to this, and it turns out there's a character who looks like Mac from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends as part of the casting choice.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you think Mac could play Kid?
I don't know.
No, Chris Pratt can play Kid Cosmic.
God damn it. Of course you can say that.
Speaking of Easter egg, you know how I said there was another World Over Yonder Easter egg there?
Where is it?
Yep. When I think this guy's name is Jimmy. When he got back to the PPG building, it looked all weakened, looked like he was severely injured. The voice of Jimmy, that was Jack McBrayer, who voiced Wander in Wander Over Yonder.
Wait, what?
Oh, interesting.
So we got Lord Hater, Commander Peepers, Sylvia, and Wander. The gang's all here.
No.
Did you remember the whole plot line of episode 6, the last episode, where they're supposed to keep their powers and everything that they did a secret, and the whole Herodias about to head towards the Earth and destroy everything. People taking
and everybody
took pictures of it, and some people thought it was just CGI or whatever.
Let's be honest, that actually sounds believable.
It was better executed than Don't Look Up, which was also released on Netflix, funny enough.
Got a couple friends who really do not like that movie.
I don't like it either.
What's the Rotten Tomatoes? So don't look up.
A few years ago, I wouldn't buy that. There's a bunch of crap happening in the sky, and people saw it. They don't believe it. I wouldn't buy that. But then, now, seeing how there are people who are denying things even when it's in front of their face, yeah, I definitely buy that narrative that people would think it's fake, a hoax, something about emails.
It's that boy who cried wolf type of scenario to other people.
Another interesting thing about Kid, when he wanted to make some comic books to publish it. When he saw the letter that came back, the responses from them, for the publishers, you actually get to see some books. It's not just that; it's also the names of those publishers, or the ones who wrote the letter, including Craig McCracken and Rob Renzetti. There was another person there too, but I can't recall.
It was a DT.
It's very interesting when Kid was riding his bike and sees the redhead member of the PPG driving by. He thought that the world was fake. It leads me to wonder if that girl is real, and that means the other members of the PPG, it turns out to be some sort of some plumbing people to inspect some restaurants, or power people who inspect some restaurants. It makes me wonder if they're there too. Those other women, Big Boss, the dog, or Subquatos, the merman.
Yeah, are they real? What if the merman is actually real? He's just not a merman. He's just a regular guy.
Yeah, he's just a regular dude. Just think how hilarious it would be if one day this dude, he drives by Mo's Oasis, needs and just gets something to eat there, and Joe sees him. I wonder how she'll feel then.
Do you think PPG, the Planet Protection Group, the abbreviation for it, PPG, do you think that's a reference to Craig McCracken's Powerpuff Girls?
That is
That's
a
what
reference.
everyone refers to it as the abbreviation.
Yes.
As if you have to ask. But turns out they're some sort of power company that inspects restaurants like Moe's.
I think they also say stuff like, and the day is saved thanks to the local heroes. I think that's just like a reference to Powerpuff Girls too. The last episode of season 1 is called Kid Cosmic and the Day is Saved.
And then season 2 is Kid Cosmic and the world is saved.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The world is saved thanks to
Kids Cosmic
the
and the local
heroes.
Oh.
Despite everything that happened, they're not being heroes anymore, and they can't tell anything about the world out there. It left on a good note where they don't need the world to know, because they know, and with their satellite fix on the diner, they were able to call some aliens down to eat at their favorite place, Moe's Oasis.
So that means they're no longer deciding to keep this a secret.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Even if people did saw the aliens, I doubt they'll.
People would just say it's CGI, like they said with them. With Rodius.
I remember a quote from Men in Black where I think Agent J, he said, "A person is smart, people are dumb." And judging from how the people on the internet reacted and say how it's fake and all that, that's a definite good quote there.
A person.
That's the song they should have ended the series on. Is the Men in Black theme song.
But still, I love that song they play in the end. It's very, very upbeat. I can dance to that.
Yeah.
And what's even hilarious is I'm not sure if Zeth showed this to me or somebody else had a video show to her, but in the end credit, the government people did try to come back in their helicopter, and they got abducted.
Thank goodness.
Oh, really?
It could be the fourth time that happened in the show.
We don't gotta worry about Moe's Oasis, going away anytime soon. And I would love to see more from Craig and more of his work. The same goes for Robin Diddy and Lauren Faust, apparently. She was part of the show.
I think Lauren
Yes.
Faust works on every McCracken show.
Which, again, feels amazing of how much influence they have on the show and all these superhero elements and references. That really, in fact, it's because of Kid Cosmic, it got me back into Powerpuff Girls, the original show, and surprisingly, DC. It's thanks to them I'm replaying Injustice and reading the comics.
That's great. I'd like to rewatch the original Powerpuff Girls again sometime. I've watched some of the older episodes, and they're great.
Anything is better than what CW is trying to pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, unfortunately, it's still happening.
Is it still happening, actually?
Yay.
Oh, gosh.
You see the leaked script of the...
And it's one of the worst scripts I've ever read. It's like,
What
it's
the
like
heck?
so bad, the dialogue. Oh my gosh. Like, it's
That
embarrassing.
I mean,
And it was so
says
bad
you.
that the CW thought it was bad. So you know it's bad if like the CW thought the script was bad, because
Did you
CW
see how bad
has
the
like the
script
worst
is? They
scripts
should
and
just
worst like,
cancel it.
content ever.
It says you. I read the script to my cousin, and we both nearly died laughing.
Yeah. Or what are some of the lines in it again? Like I'm trying to think. It's like a lot of teen
Move
lingo humor.
MoveOn.org.
Yeah. And also, it's just insulting because they treat the original like Powerpuff Girls like as fake and whatever. It's just insulting to the original.
That one really hurts, honestly. Like they implied that they, according to the script, the professor in the CW script is apparently he's a very bad father, and that is just
That's just
awful
an
to hear.
insulting
So he sold
to
the
me,
girls
because
rights to their likeness to...
because in the animated series, his father plays a very good role on the girls. He raised them, like, he is the best, like, legit best father figure to those three girls. But
They implied that the cartoonist, which I assume and it's supposed to be Craig, they implied that he was racist by whitewashing the girls, and that is just beyond.
That's disgusting, actually.
Craig, I know for a
Like,
fact that Craig
I
would
think
never.
we all know. Sorry, go ahead.
I know for a fact that Craig would never do something as bad as
No.
whitewashing.
No.
Oh, never.
And Kid Cosmic is a great example of how much he's pulling in with some of the character and the voice actors. It is like... Oh, another thing I also noticed from Kid Cosmic that I think confirmed is we have another LGBT couple.
Oh,
Yes.
really? Well, which one?
It's like
I'm not sure
this,
if you remember them.
it was a
the name is Hamburg
and
and
Fry.
Fry.
Yes, he confirmed.
Oh, were they a couple?
No, they always interact with each other, but I guess how close they are together, it's kind of like, I feel that it almost reminds me of Sheriff Lubbs and Deputy Derlin in Gravity Falls. And
Yeah, they're not super
Oh, yes.
explicit about it.
I remember
really?
now.
They're not,
The two officers. It was only confirmed to be them to being a couple, like, right at the end of the show, right?
yeah.
They could have pushed Hamburg and Fry more because it's Netflix and it's not by Disney. You know, Netflix is fine with LGBT stuff.
Well, I think Craig implied it, but you know what? I will say, Freiburg. That's... I will end on that statement. Freiburg.
Freiburg. That's the little.
I think Kid Cosmic proves to be yet another really strong McCracken show. Yeah, I think it's overall season 1, 2, and 3. It's an excellent show, I think, and I'm glad that he was able to like make the show that he wanted to, and Netflix was able to give him the creative control necessary. Because you don't get to see that a lot with cartoon creators.
Yeah.
And I would love to see more from Craig and everyone else from that show, for that matter. I would love to see the people from that show to expand, work on other shows, and maybe make their own if they can. I would love to see more from them.
Yeah,
Me
now
too.
streaming is a thing. Like anyone, and like it's so much easier now to like pitch an animated show because like there's so many streaming services now, like trying to compete, to bring like new content that people want to watch.
New deal for animation. Just want to bring that back one more time, just to show that we love everything that these people have done, and not only Kid Cosmic, but all the anime shows that they're just wonderful and creative. And we hope that the people who make them be treated better.
I agree. I stand for a new deal for animation as well.
So am
New
I.
deal for animation.
If they're willing to fight for a new deal for animation, then I'm going to join in the bandwagon.
Me too.
Well, with that said, thank you all for being in another magnificent LASM meeting. Like, so far, Craig McCracken truly delivered on a cartoon, and I'm really happy that he's able to, like, do whatever he wants with Kid Cosmic. And I hope one day he might deliver again with another. But who knows?
I think that he's probably not going to make, and I know he's not going to make another feature film after like the Powerpuff Girls movie. But I hope that he makes another show if he feels like he has another idea for something, because all of his shows are excellent.
Down for that.
Yeah, me too. Well, if you would like some more of the animation content from us, please sure to drop a like and subscribe and click on the notification bell so that way you won't miss out on another video. And with that said, I bid you peace. Bye. Say bye, everyone.
See ya.
All
Later,
right.
Gators.
Later, crocodiles.
Herodias!
Herodias! Woohoo!